Third time going to the cinema this week. Personal record for me. But anyway, the final, presumably this time, the final film that I'm going to see that I've seen of 2018, Mortal Engines. As I said, I've been to the cinema three times this week. First for Aquaman, then for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and this time Mortal Engines. Now, I personally haven't read the books that this film was based on. A member of my family was, and he seemed quite keen to see it, so yeah, figured why not. Now, this film hadn't actually been doing so well at the box office, but for a person who hasn't read the books, kind of watching the movie, I think it's decent. I mean, I understand not every kind of book to film adaptation for a movie can be as kind of great as The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, but this one I felt was decent. But then I can see why this film hadn't been doing so well. I mean, this is a weird concept. I mean, you go from kind of students attending a school for witchcraft and wizardry and kind of great things to suddenly cities on wheels in a desolate wasteland attempting to eat each other. Yeah, this is a bit of a weird concept. The film focuses kind of around this premise of kind of cities that roll around the kind of big marshland after kind of a major catastrophe, and people are just trying to kind of live and kind of get by. But then there's a woman named Hester Shaw who is kind of on a mission to kind of avenge her dead mother, who kind of fell prey to a man named Thaddeus Valentine, and eventually she gets a man named Tom Natsworthy kind of entangled up into its kind of big adventures and trying to figure stuff out and stop an evil plan. Yeah, especially with Thaddeus Valentine planning to essentially attack other cities with a super weapon. Now, the problem with this movie isn't the cast. Far from it. They do a great job. I mean, you've got Hera Hilmar as the main villain, not main villain, our protagonist, Hester Shaw, who she's kind of a bit mysterious. I mean, I admit, in the first kind of 10 minutes of this movie, when she was just the woman in the crowd had her red mask on, I was kind of interested just to see what was kind of going on with her, find out who she was. And I think that was a nice touch. I mean, the only two actors who I admit I did recognise in this movie were, one was Thaddeus Valentine, who was played by Hugo Weaving, who some people may remember from Captain America or from The Lord of the Rings. And Hugo Weaving is one of these ones that you see him and you just think, oh yeah, I recognise him. The other one I recognised was Colin Salmon, who kind of works as, I think, a librarian. But yeah, I feel it was nice to see him in that. I also did give bits of the humour. For example, early on in the film they had mentioned, there are relics from here, and then they just showed two statues of the minions from Despicable Me. That made me laugh. I'll admit, that made me chuckle. But yeah, I mean, I will admit I do kind of see why this film has been considered a bit of a flop. I mean, it's not, for me, it's not a bad film, not by any means. It was interesting. But then you've got so many kind of great films or good films coming out around the festive period that this one is kind of a little odd. I mean, eventually it ends up with a big super weapon being hidden in the remnants of St. Paul's Cathedral, and he's attempting to destroy a walled city so he can get more hunting grounds for their city. Which, yeah, I found a bit odd. I mean, I did like the kind of relationship that went through with Hester and Tom, which, I mean, early on in the movie, you see kind of an interaction between Tom and Thaddeus' daughter, and I thought to myself at the time, oh, the movie is going to be kind of between those two. But then it kind of shifted, and Tom ended up with Hester, and I do feel it's kind of a nice friendship. I mean, it's pretty much like most movies, a 3-day romance. I mean, by the end of the film, they're not technically speaking fallen in love, but it's easy to see how they would become. I mean, as I've said multiple times in this video, I personally haven't read the books. I've been advised that maybe I should, because it's a very good series, and maybe I will someday, but I personally haven't seen it, and not having any kind of knowledge of the source material, I personally thought it was a decent movie. I mean, not the best by any means, but no, not terrible either. I felt at the end of it, I didn't want my money back. I felt it was, I do feel it wasn't kind of an hour and a half of my life I was never getting back. I feel it was a good film. Yeah, not the best by any means, but yeah. I was glad I saw it, and yeah, maybe I might see it again in the future. But, as I said, not every movie franchise can be Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. Some, as we know all too well, are doomed to fall by the wayside. But, yeah, for an hour and a half long movie, I thought it was pretty good. Well, there you go. My small review on Mortal Engines, presumably the last movie I'm going to see of 2018. But, yeah. Until then, see ya.